What's up?
Oh, I'm just compiling all the top sports scores, news, and odds so I can make the very best bets.
Me too. BetOnline.ag.
Join today and receive your 50% welcome bonus at betonline.ag.
Am I fully rebounded? No, but I am refreshed from the fact that the regular season is over, John. And there is, obviously, I'm a diehard at heart, all the way down. So I'm ready. I want to see them win. Obviously, I just have this little thing that's still lingering, but for the most part, man, I'm optimistic. There's a part of me that really thinks he can still do this. And, despite the way that the regular season went, I don't know if I'm crazy, but I am encouraged by the Indiana series. And we previewed this a couple of weeks ago. We said being in the 4-5, and they do get the extra game at home in the first round. So that's good. Beat it to 4-5, and then, trying to unseat Milwaukee because Toronto's always had their number, and Kawhi scares us, that this could be the best path. And we also see a Toronto team that could still get bounced by somebody like the Philadelphia 76ers. And then all of a sudden, if you can get by Milwaukee and you face the 76ers, we like our chances, and the team will be healthy by all indications by that point. So it's not inconceivable. This was the path we wanted, and they have home court advantage in the first round. So here we go.
It's all set. It's ready. I mean, I think we saw a Celtics team all year that generally I don't want to say their backs are against the wall, because their backs were against the wall and they got run over sometimes. But I think more importantly, when they faced top tier talent, they rose to the challenge almost every single time. And so I think that's what a lot of us are hanging our hat on, in hopes that that's the team that shows up. The other thing that would probably want to throw into the mix is the fact that when the team's rotation has been cut down, aside from Al Horford, they've generally, again, rose to the challenge. And without Marcus Smart here through 3 to 5 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, all the more reason for guys to step up, fill that void, and really play the type of Celtic basketball that we've been looking for from this team throughout. And what's interesting too is, of course, the Hospital Celtics was probably the best example of that last season, where they lost Hayward, they lost Kyrie, and they took that and they went to unbelievable heights in the playoffs. The question is, can they do that now? Different cast of characters, different situation, and you have those players. I think the difference is, as opposed to earlier in the season, we have Gordon Hayward looking like a real player right now. And that's the first time we've seen that in the 2 years he's been a Celtic. Gordon Hayward is a
minus about 5
plus.
minutes. Yeah, no doubt. And, jokingly with Sailboat Studios on Twitter, the injuries end up shortening the rotation. Guys get minutes, seems to solve some problems, even if it's not your preferred players to be out there. There's just something to be said for having that all kind of work itself out that way. You still want everybody healthy in the postseason, obviously, but this rotation is going to be impacted. I guess if there was one player to be down, it wouldn't be Marcus Smart, though. That's the guy you really want to stick around. They're saying 4 to 6 weeks, right? And then Himmelsbach said the team's hoping for 3 to 5. So on the bright side and the best case scenario, he could be ready to start round 2 if they get by Indiana. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But what you just said about Hayward, though, there's so much of me that wants Jaylen Brown to go back into that starting lineup, just because of all the players that finished out, the last third or even the last half of this season. He's probably their top performer, in my opinion. And he really just was the most consistent, the most reliable, getting to the line. At the same time, what we just saw from Hayward and what Brown offers off the bench, and that he's been steady in that role, it probably makes the most sense to just go ahead and put Hayward in there at shooting guard. And I kind of feel like his defense is adequate enough. I mean, that's the real question mark. If you take Smart out, wouldn't you rather have Brown for defense, even though he does have lapses and he overplays his defender? I mean, he overplays the defense every once in a while and gets burned. The athleticism is there. Do you want that defensive presence, or do you want that offensive presence that Hayward's been? Still kind of a tough judgment call there. I could see Brad getting situational with it. One game he goes with Brown, the other one he goes with Hayward, depending on, what he's seeing out there on the floor. But I can't imagine imagine them putting Terry into the starting lineup, and that's really the only other option for shooting guard.
Oh dear.